In this video, we will discuss the truth about the biggest problem plaguing the global spiritual and religious communities on Earth today, black magic. We'll look at case studies of the most wicked witches, covens, and warlocks around. Plus, we'll give you simple, tried, and tested tools to protect yourself, your family, your health, your well-being, your business, career, and reputation from black magic. We'll also discuss the little-known new spiritual laws that came into effect on the 1st of January 2022 that any person on earth can command at will to vanquish the effects of black magic from their life. Advanced spiritual yogis have been utilizing these laws to great effect to bring about positive change in the world. You don't need to walk through Dante's Inferno on a tightrope in high heels alone. Stay tuned and listen to the stories and tips of a master exorcist who handles the dark arts with ease. So what is black magic? It's also known as the dark arts and is the utilization of supernatural powers for a person's egotistical, greedy, or selfish purposes. These dark arts were banned under canon law in 1456. So certain satanic cults and dark witch and warlock covens sometimes practice demonic rituals and voodoo magic in groups to raise the spirits of the dead from their graves and command them to participate in dark satanic rituals. Other practitioners hex or curse their business competitors, people who they are jealous of, envious of, or partners of love interests that they seek to conquer. Conversely, white magic, on the other hand, is deployed by spiritual devotees, spiritual yogis, some Wiccan circles, and the like, to aid people to manifest positive outcomes for their personal or family or business life. An example of this might be to manifest a new motor vehicle for a family member who had their car stolen and didn't have it insured, or to pray for and heal an ill relative or a spouse or a close friend. Other examples would be to protect and guide home a lost pet, etherically and telepathically. Or a collective example would be to pray for and bless an entire city or state or nation with protection from harm from natural disasters, or to imbue that state or nation with divine prosperity. So white magic works in harmony with God and the nature spirits and the celestial realms and the angelic beings. It doesn't harm any person or any being, any entity or any business. Black magic is malicious and seeks to destroy and harm people to enable the dark arts practitioner to steal what does not belong to them. Stealing another person's good health, their energy, vitality, their money, their good reputation, their business profits, their intellectual property, their partners, their spouses, husbands, fiancés, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, their happiness. This is a form of energy harvesting or energy pulling or energy vampirism. And it is all black magic. It can result in siphoning off a person's life force and vitality, resulting in them having sudden death, seizures, migraines, vision loss, heart attacks, strokes, hearing loss, aneurysms, cancer, chronic fatigue, dizziness, vertigo, memory loss, dementia, and a myriad of other neurological disorders. Black magic can also involve cursing and hexing items and giving them to a recipient to bring that person who receives those items and their family bad luck, ill health, financial misfortune. As a rule of thumb, I never receive gifts from anyone unless they're close family and it's warranted. If someone sends me a gift unsolicited, I don't hurt their feelings and give it back, but I will donate it to a charity. And if I know it's been cursed or hexed, I will throw it into the ocean if it's an item that can be thrown into the ocean or destroyed or burned. The best way to illustrate the dangers of practicing black magic is to discuss case studies of the most wicked black magic practitioners on earth today. Many of these individuals' wicked deeds have been captured in thousands of online public tarot and spiritual medium channelings over the past 4 years. So if the stories sound familiar, then this message confirms that indeed the stories that you've been channeling are real and you've been commissioned by the spiritual hierarchy and my teams in spirit and the ancestral bloodlines to expose and hold to account the most evil people on earth. So in life we are governed by universal laws. Two such laws are the law of cause and effect and the law of attraction. The best way to illustrate the dangers of practicing black magic is to discuss key global case studies of these dark art practitioners and how their cause and effect relationship between their abuses of power and the karmic boomerang effect that they always attract comes about as a result of their actions. In essence, the quality of your life is governed by the choices you make in life. What you drink, what you consume, what you listen to, you watch, you read, and who you affiliate with, and who you choose to share your time and energy with. Practitioners of dark arts naturally vibrate at lower frequencies and as such attract low vibrational entities in the astral and other realms who aid them in their wicked ways. Poor life choices leads to poor quality of life outcomes. Human beings are comprised energetically of everything that is around us. Vibration, energy frequencies. Like attracts like, unlike repels unlike. This is a law of the universe. By engaging in bad karmic acts like black magic or abuse of power in this life, you naturally attract bad karma, as like attracts like-minded, dark individuals. Similarly, we carry over karmic debts with individuals from past lives. Karma can be positive or negative. This truth helps explain why sometimes bad things happen to good people. Your positive and negative karma is stored in your akashic records. Your karmic records are also contained within your cellular memory and planetary depositories of cosmic intelligence. Through the law of attraction, the karma from past thoughts, words, actions is downloaded from our akashic records from this life and our previous lives into our cellular and DNA memory. Then we act out this karma through our earthly relationships and dramas. There is no truth that the akashic records can be tampered with or good karma transferred from one person to another. People who have tried this have generated unimaginable suffering and losses into their lives. I've seen this with my own eyes, and I've had people try this trick on me, and it always has a severe karmic rebound effect. The Akashic records are overseen by the Lords of Karma and the spiritual hierarchy. It is against universal and all spiritual laws to attempt to tamper with the divine plan and another's soul divine blueprint. AI agents are not part of the divine plan, as they have no soul and are not biological agents. Artificial intelligence agencies are only technological tools to help humanity evolve, learn, and grow. This is the difference between technology and humanity. The law of karma, cause and effect, is exact. There are no mistakes. Humans have been afforded the opportunity to clear past mistakes, actions through forgiveness, pay off past karmic debts, and pay forward future positive karma to the future to help people in need with their time, energy, money, community service, gifts, or by blessing Mother Earth and its inhabitants during times of need. Prior to incarnating on Earth, humans mapped out and planned our incarnation. We agreed on certain birth parents, birthplaces, talents, major relationships, obstacles, challenges, meetings, to settle our karmic bonds and learn the lessons that we need to learn on Earth School. The people who have been engaging in black magic have interfered in predestined paths of many souls on Earth. Their actions have interfered in the divine will and the divine blueprints of the people they seek to hurt. These actions have angered and infuriated the spiritual hierarchy and the ancestrals of the people that they've met with and interfered with. In some cases, the black magic has been so severe that some people left the earth plane prematurely before their time. Others were injured or killed in horrific circumstances. Now the Lords of Karma have intervened, and it is finally time that all black magic practitioners on earth and all abusers of power to pay back those karmic debts. Humanity have come to the end of the precision of equinox, the end of the Piscean age, and the end of many overlapping time periods. Earth is in a cycle of death and rebirth, an ending and a new beginning. Black magic practitioners are being given an option: either pay back stolen money, energy, possessions, or be jailed, or be removed from the earth plane. When another innocent person's life has been taken, then the person must apologise to the family of the victims and admit guilt and serve their jail time. Karmic debts need to be paid back by the soul who committed the dark arts. This frees their soul and their ancestral lines over many lifetimes to come. If these karmic debts are not paid back from here on in, this leads to a situation where the dark arts practitioners become stuck on the wheel of karma for tens of millions or even tens of billions of years. They carry these tough, heavy karmic burdens for their past black magic misdeeds. The types of abuses of power include stealing other people's partners, stealing other people's energy, stealing other people's possessions, stealing other people's money, stealing other people's reputation, stealing other people's intellectual property, stealing other people's credibility, stealing other people's homes, stealing other people's businesses, stealing other people's life force. In other cases, black magic practitioners adversely affected judges, magistrates, courts, juries, legal tribunals, police and intelligence agencies, avoiding justice through misinformation, theft, fraud, perjury, and black magic. Some souls who engage in black arts are so addicted to sex, money, and power, avarice, and greed on earth that they keep making mistake after mistake and have to keep reincarnating in an attempt to pay back their large karmic debts to many people. I have personally witnessed this with many people in the spiritual community. I've performed many thousands of exorcisms, energy, and shamanic healings over many decades and have noted patterns in people's lives who practice the dark arts. They always suffer severe mental health issues, and they always have a long history of criminal activity accrued over a the lifetime. People who practice black magic also suffer low self-esteem, low self-worth, and poor confidence. They have a tendency to hurt others and steal from them what does not belong to them, as they cannot manifest the same outcomes by themselves naturally. Essentially, people who practice black magic are lazy and seek shortcuts in life due to their poor self-worth and laziness. Black magic practitioners' issues normally stem from childhood traumas, childhood abuse, or self-loathing. Hence why almost all people who practice black magic abuse drugs, sex, alcohol, children, and other vices. They do this to cover their self-loathing due to unresolved inner issues. So whatever your vibration is on Earth, you're attracted to a similar realm of vibration in the celestial planes. Black magic practitioners naturally attract lower vibrational entities in the inner and astral planes on Earth, who get them locked in a cycle of abuse and disaster. These entities feed off the dark energies involved in black magic practices. So it's important to remember that you have to pay back these karmic debts in this life, that is this lifetime now, and also in future incarnations. From 2022 onwards, the tables have turned. So new spiritual laws have been enacted from the 1st of January 2022 to give back power to the people subjected to black magic. The ancestors, the bloodlines, the teams in spirit, and sometimes the spiritual hierarchy intervene, and when black magic is performed, they return it to the sender and away from the targets intended towards. This is done without the knowledge of the black magic practitioner, and it brings great harm to the practitioners and the people that commission the black magic. The prevalence of black magic within the spiritual communities and the religious and Catholic and Christian communities was so profound over the past 4 years that the spiritual hierarchy intervened. And they have now removed the gifts and the spiritual missions of people who were previously engaging in dark arts practices. Those gifts and spiritual missions were handed as a reward to the people that they were targeting and trying to hurt, as a karmic payment of sorts for the harm that was caused to the people that were subjected to black magic arts. Like attracts like, and on Earth murderers are attracted to murderers, drug addicts and drug dealers are attracted to fellow druggies, political people are attracted to political-minded people, and fellow light workers to each other. Any person can claim to have good character. One must practice discernment though, as words, thoughts and actions, they count towards a character of a person. It's the things that someone does in the dark when no one is around watching that counts towards the development of one's character. If a black magic practitioner, witch or warlock maliciously targets and harms other people as they're jealous of their light, their gifts, their possessions, their home, their business skills, abilities, marriage, family, children, lifestyle, knowledge, travels, whatever, then that's an abuse of power. That's automatically a low-vibing person. When engaging with negative entities and practicing black magic, you invite the darkness, you invite harm into your life and that of the life of your family. When a black magic practitioner engages in energy harvesting or energy vampiring, they lose their light, they lose their energy, and they suffer. They move further from source and lose their angelic, God, spiritual and ancestral protections. In many cases, they also lose their possessions, their homes, their marriages, their good health, their reputation, their mental health, and their sanity. What you sow in life, you reap. The laws of karma are exact. What I have observed and have experienced is it's hard and near impossible to manifest when you're around people who engage in black magic. The message I have for people from the spiritual hierarchy is don't rob people who engage in black magic of their karma, as they need to pay back their karmic debts to society. This message is particularly for the spiritual masters, the spiritual gurus, the spiritual teachers, the shamans, the witches, the warlocks, the witch doctors of this world today. Stop protecting these dark arts practitioners because you also share in their negative karma. Conversely, if you light a candle, provide illumination and warmth to people in suffering and dark, then you are a light worker. In the spiritual world, we are surrounded by like-minded souls in the celestial realms. On Earth, we are surrounded by like-minded people of different evolutions, beliefs, and behaviours. It can be difficult at times to discern who's who in the Earth Zoo, especially when at times we wear masks. So being exposed to different people on Earth helps you learn from different vibrations. You need this exposure to different personalities to grow and evolve as a human, as a soul. Evolve as a human, your mind, your heart, your soul, and your body. You help raise your vibration and graduate from the Earth School and return to Source, or the Divine, or God, as a being of light and love. So this law of attraction affects us to help us grow and evolve on Earth by exposure to questionable people on Earth who practice black magic. We are the vibration of love. We are all children of God. We all come from the source. The worst offenders of the dark arts are here to teach us forgiveness. The outer world is a projection of oneself. Humans are born on Earth to learn and grow and pay back karmic debts from our past lives. Some of these karmic debts are incurred from ancestral bloodlines, and some of them are from our past actions in past lives. By forgiving, cutting links and sending love and light to people who hurt us on earth, this helps us wake up and to exit the wheels of karma. We can also help humanity and all sentient beings grow and evolve by being of service to animals, the bird kingdoms, the trees, the rocks, the waters, the marine life, and to all of humanity during our time on Earth. 3-day Earth maintains a low form of vibration at times. People do get entangled here in temptation, and they do have a need to change. Some people get tempted by karma and like to incarnate again and again, playing out drama and running amok here on Earth, abusing people, the environment and animals. People who practice black magic attract bad karma into their lives. Most lose their sanity and may lose their souls to dark entities and demons. We refer to such people as lost souls, or zombies. This zombie apocalypse has been evident for the world to clearly see in the recent years and will become more evident over the next 2 years. Some greedy and materialistic people on earth forget that we cannot take material possessions or money with us to the afterlife, even though the Egyptian pharaohs tried. The truth is, we can only take our knowledge and our lessons learned here on earth. The worst black magic offenders are here to teach us forgiveness. These dark agents are here to help us wake up. In many cases, the outer world is either a projection of yourself or a predestined situation that you have orchestrated to pay back karmic debts from your past lives. In some situations, you are just playing out intergenerational and ancestral karma inherited from your bloodlines, which need to be repaid to certain groups of people here on earth. And in very rare situations, like in my situation, sometimes we act as a light in the darkness that attracts moths to the flame. Sometimes God sends the worst of the worst humans to light workers to help them grow and evolve, a sort of like a wake-up call that they've been praying for. We are always facing ourselves. We attract people into our lives as that person is our wake-up call to help us change for the better as a human and evolve as a soul. What returns to us in this life is the harvest of what we have sown in past lives. It comes to us not as a form of punishment, but for us to recognize we've done something wrong, in either a past life or in this incarnation, and with an opportunity to right the wrongs of our past misdeeds. The person who steals from you or hurts you, they may be just paying back karmic debts or karmic impulses from a past life. This may be the real reason why we suddenly lose a job, money, or an opportunity or relationship. As the universe signals to us, it's time to move on to something else, somewhere else, and start a new chapter in life, as life has new plans for you. People come into our lives to teach us lessons. Everyone is a teacher in our life. We are angry with them out of vanity. We feel other people are so evil. This is just a form of judgment. If someone really hurts you, it gives you the opportunity to forgive them and change the direction of your life for the better. With changes in your life, you can be suddenly free and may course correct and sail off into a new direction. In some cases, if someone hurts you, suddenly we may have a soul contract from past lives that we have agreed to in this life to learn the lesson. This may be to release negative mind chatter and improve your self-esteem, or to surround yourself with more positive and uplifting people. Sometimes the presence of an evil person in your life may assist you to understand and believe that you're a child of God, a divine being, and to help you heal your self-esteem or issues from childhood or past life trauma. This is why forgiveness is key, and you need to cut the links and send love and light to all people that cause you harm. Rather than retaliate, forgive the person who engages in black magic or the energy harvester. Cut all the links between you and them. Cut all the links between their cults or their covens and you and your family and your business. Forgive them and send them love and light. God knows they need it. Then surrender the situation to God, to spirit, to your ancestors, to your team in spirit, for them to resolve in the inner planes. Practice consistent forgiveness. We are never victims, we are just actors on a stage of life at the Earth School. We are divine beings of light. Forgiveness is power of love in action. The whole idea is not to return to Earth, the idea is to graduate from Earth and return to God's source, or the Grand Central Sun, as the highest vibration of love and light. However, in some situations, there are light workers and earth angels on Earth who agree to incarnate on Earth again and again as a form of world service to help other people and also help humanity and the animals and Mother Earth to evolve and grow. Follow the golden rule, do unto others as you would like to be done unto you, and life will run more smoothly for you. So certain case studies that I have personally witnessed or observed over the last 25 years in the spiritual community of individuals who have participating in black magic and the karmic repercussions of their actions. One that is a very well-known case, call him is Gemini 48, who is a fake spiritual teacher in the spiritual community based here in Melbourne, Australia and in Italy. She has been banned from every spiritual group on the planet, but seems to somehow keep coming back into each group. She's been practicing black magic since she was 15, and she has a long history of abuse of alcohol and drugs and severe mental health issues which have come as a result of her practicing black magic. Black magic that she engages in has caused her to engage in serious criminal activities such as drug manufacturing, drug trafficking, murders of quite a large number of people, theft and fraud offences, identity theft, identity fraud offences, blackmail, bribery, prostitution and related blackmail. As a consequence of her actions, she asked me to engage in an exorcism for her around 2007, and when I went to perform the ritual with fellow spirit practitioner, I was told by the spiritual hierarchy not to perform the exorcism on her because her karma was to have schizophrenia for the rest of her life and mental health problems. So I opted out of the exorcism. My friend attempted to perform the exorcism, and as a consequence she didn't listen to the spiritual hierarchy, and she contracted schizophrenia and ended up in and out of psychiatric hospitals for many years. The last time I saw her, she was living on the streets and lost her home, her husband, her business, everything. I know that many other people, spiritual masters, energy healers, shamans, witch doctors around the world have attempted to help this woman, and they've been met with profound misfortune, financial misfortune, problems with their families, relationship problems, relationship breakdowns, health problems with the family, personal health problems. And unfortunately, men who have intermingled with this lady have had misfortune of contracting HIV and STDs because she's been carrying this disease, which the spiritual hierarchy told me was karma for her actions involving killing other people and black magic since she was a teenager. So all the gentlemen around the world that have made the mistake of mixing their wands into her pouch, I would strongly suggest that you head off to the nearest STD clinic and get some tests, because she is a sex addict spreading her sexual disease to many men around the world, throughout Australia, the spiritual community, the Philippines, India, Thailand, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Russia, Great Britain, America, particularly in Texas, Florida and California, all throughout Italy, North Italy, Spain, parts of France, parts of Germany and Vietnam. If you have made the mistake of intermingling with this Miss Gemini 48, I would strongly encourage you to potter on down to your nearest sexual health clinic and have tests. Demand that this woman is charged. I've been notifying authorities about her indiscretions in this regard for 18 years now, and they have failed to act. And they've known about her spreading diseases to many politicians and many public figures and many people in the spiritual community, and they've failed to act. In relation to her two sisters and her brother who have been protecting her, the ill-gotten gains of all the millions of dollars that she's stolen from people around the world, the lesson to them is that the money all needs to be paid back, and the karmic repercussions of her actions have resulted in her accruing billions of years worth of negative karma. And when she passes over, the time is right, then that karma will pass on to their bloodlines. So the actions of Miss Gemini 48 have caused grave harm to the Victorian community in Australia and the North Italian community in North Italy and parts of the Philippines and North Island of Philippines. In instances where someone has committed grave crimes against people, and particularly where those crimes involve black magic, then that karma gets stored in the city, the state or the nation of the place where those crimes were committed, or the place where that individual committed those black magic crimes resides. And that in this instance is Victoria, Australia. That state has inherited that negative karma, and that negative karma cannot be erased until this individual is brought to justice by the justice system and charged for the crimes that they have committed over many decades. The next well-known case related to historical cases of black magic is Miss Scorpio 58. She is a friend of Miss Gemini 48. She's a false light spiritual teacher, and she has been abusing black magic and engaging in criminal activity for at least 2 decades that she has advised me of. I have experienced it firsthand. I've been in the room when she's practiced black magic, and I've been protecting her spiritual group from her black magic all throughout 2018 and 2019 when I was running that group. She has admitted to my face that yes, she does engage in black magic and she does siphon off the energy of all of her spiritual students and their family members, hence the reason why many of them were becoming sick. I asked her the reasons of why she was engaging in this black magic, and she revealed to me that she wanted to be the most powerful person in the world. I asked her to stop her involvement in black magic and she would not, so I walked away from her spiritual group. And just for the record, many of you have asked me why I walked away from the spiritual group. This was the reason why, and I did as much as I could to protect you all and your family, make you as prosperous and healthy and happy and safe as I could. But at some point in time, one must draw boundaries around their life. I was not willing to tolerate her misuse of power and her violence and abuse, and I certainly was not willing to tolerate her screaming abuse at people in spiritual classes and causing them to cry, not delivering on the course requirements that people have paid for, and then going out and drinking all the time. Another reason why I left this spiritual group was the money that was raised from my efforts over the course of the year and everyone's tithing was not going to the nominated charities that we nominated, because when I went to take the money to the homeless shelter, she wouldn't hand it over. The money was going for her personal needs, to pay for her personal grooming, her beauty routine, and her overseas holidays. That in itself is a form of abuse of power. That in itself is a form of theft, and in addition to all the other crimes, that's the reason why I left that spiritual school. Also, it's the reason why she's accrued so much bad karma in her life. Many people ask me, how can she be a spiritual teacher when she drinks so much, when she engages in masturbation in public meditation events, and when she sits there moaning and groaning in orgasmic chants during meditation events? My answer to you is she lied. She admitted to me she lied to the spiritual schools to get the teaching license, and she's perpetuated that lie for many years to continue holding that license, and that's why so many people are having problems with her. All I can do is suggest that you look elsewhere and forgive this person, set her free, understand the lesson why you attracted her into your life. For me, the lesson was past life karma. She had done something similar in a past life. She's made the same mistake again in this life. Rather than just go repeat the cycle of abuse and violence again, I just cut my losses and walked away. And kept forgiving her, because this is the only thing you can do with these types of personalities. Cut losses, forgive the person, and move on, and recognize when the lesson pops up again with another personality. That's the best suggestion I can give you all who ask me for advice about this woman. She has accrued some hundreds of millions of years worth of negative karma, and she has to pay back those karmic debts, and unfortunately her family are suffering because of her actions, and that is the reason why there are many health problems and legal problems in her family and with her people in her life, with her personal relationships. So I'd strongly suggest, if you know this woman, if you're involved with this woman, just to cut your losses, forgive her, walk away, try to recover whatever money she's taken from you, and move on and learn the lesson. The next case study that is relevant for this discussion we'll refer to as Miss Aries 53. She's a friend of Miss Scorpio 58, and if you belong to the spiritual school and have witnessed her engaging in black magic activities during the meditation sessions and her behavioral problems thereafter, you would understand exactly what we're talking about here. She outwardly practices black magic in the public domain with no care or concern about other people's opinions of her. She's admitted to me that she does that. It's obvious to everyone in the room that she's doing it. When I've been present in the room during meditation and spiritual healing sessions, when she's been doing this, I've been able to protect everyone in there. Unfortunately for her, the karmic repercussions for her, she was having many car accidents, she was losing jobs, she was losing friends, she was not able to maintain personal relationships, she was having behavioral and mental health problems. So this was the karmic repercussions of her actions. And I have been told by Spirit that she has accrued 10 billion years worth of negative karma that she has to pay back because of her actions in this lifetime, particularly her actions since 2018. So whatever she's been doing behind the scenes, it's obviously not good. And my spiritual master in the celestial planes has given me some tips that it has involved interfering in the life path of unborn babies in their mother's wounds and causing severe harm to unborn babies and children who are highly developed spiritual beings, and trying to steal their energy and their gifts for herself, in addition to the graveyard thefts that were operating in Western Melbourne and Footscray over recent years, and that was published in the mainstream media. She was allegedly involved in that. stealing of people's skulls and skeletal remains from their graveyards and doing devil worshipping and satanic worshipping with their remains, which is a criminal offence, by the way, and it's a serious mental health disorder to engage in this type of behaviour. This is why she's accrued such huge karmic debts. And if this person is involved in your life, I would ask you to follow the process of forgiving her, forgiving yourself, cutting the links, sending her peace, love and light and healing, and understanding why she was brought into your life and making sure that that type of personality never gets attracted into your life again, because that's a severe case of dark arts gone wrong. Another case that is relevant for people in the spiritual community, particularly in Victoria and Australia, is Miss Leo 68. She works closely with Miss Gemini 48 and her ex-boyfriend. She learned a lot of her black magic off Miss Gemini 48 and used it to maximum effect to cause extraordinary harm and suffering to many thousands of people across Victoria and Australia. I'm not going to go into specifics, but basically she has used black magic to tag the lives of dozens of people. She has falsely represented herself as a health and medical practitioner when she has no such qualifications. She has misrepresented herself as a carer for elderly and disabled people, people with HIV in the queer community in Victoria, Australia, purely with the aim to steal their assets. Like Miss Gemini 48, she's driven by greed. She's dishonest, unethical and corrupt, and has a long history, a well-documented history published in the media of theft and fraud. The authorities know about her background, but because she is linked to Miss Gemini, who's part of the mafia, she has some form of political and police protection. She has accrued a lot of negative karma. In point in fact, she's been banned from reincarnating on Earth ever again, and I've had this confirmed multiple times over recent years. She has interfered in the divine plan of so many people, causing their demise and their untimely deaths, that she's literally, after this incarnation, not allowed to reincarnate here on Earth anymore. There's only ever one other person on Earth that I've come across that has been banned from reincarnating for a prolonged period of time, and that's Adolf Hitler. This is a severe case of black magic gone wrong. Obviously this woman has severe mental health problems. Obviously she's a pathological liar, a serious thief and a fraud and a serial killer, and the black magic has caused harm to her mindset, and she has a criminal mind. There have been circumstances where I personally witnessed where she's done black magic to cause people serious spinal injuries, to cause people falls, to cause elderly people to fall down floors, trip over in their street or in their home. And she's openly admitted this as much to myself and my colleagues. As a consequence, her family members have suffered cancer and untimely deaths as a consequence of her actions, but it hasn't seemed to stop her or make her wake up to her actions. So she's been removed from the earth plane when the spiritual hierarchy determined that it's her time to go. It's Miss Gemini 48. Miss Gemini 48 is notable because she does have a criminal mindset. She doesn't seem to understand the ethics or the morality of right and wrong. Vulgar in her speech and her actions. She openly admits in public forums with 600 plus people that yes, she kills people, and she doesn't seem to understand the ethics, morality or legality of the wrongdoing of killing people, innocent people. She kills people and has people tortured allegedly for sexual pleasure, and she commits all types of manner of crimes in the sexual domain for pleasure purposes. In the evenings she presents herself in a BDM and S&M capacity and has gentlemen that pays for her services in that capacity. This is something that you should be mindful of when dealing with types of personalities like Miss Gemini 48, because there may be underlying issue. If there is a willingness to engage in black magic activities like this woman does, particularly with her African witch doctor friend, then the consequences of those actions are quite severe to yourself. This woman works a lot with a African witch doctor, a man who's in his 60s, based in Melbourne, Australia, performs black magic rituals for financial gain. At one point in time, about 18 years ago, this woman took me to this gentleman telling me he was a shamanic healer, and I naively believed her and learnt the hard way that he's no shamanic healer, so one must practice discernment. The rituals he performed, he does through water and through herbs and chanting. Lesson for me was, after meeting this gentleman, was be very mindful about who you engage with in the spiritual community and spiritual healers, because not everyone is what they seem. Be very careful who you give your power away to. This witch doctor did come back and complain to me that after he did these black magic rituals against me, that His wife wanted to leave him. He was about to lose his home. He lost all his client base coming out of Asia. They all want to sue him, and the Australian government and the tax office were coming after him with all these debts because of his criminal activity. If you're engaging in black magic, there's going to be a karmic boomerangs. This is pointless going back and blaming the people that you're hurting for your own actions. You need to stop practicing black magic. The ex-boyfriend of Miss Gemini 48, I'm not sure what star sign, he's about 47, 48 years of age. He has been a friend of hers since 2003. Former drug dealer like herself allegedly, and a fake spiritual teacher like herself. I've had literally hundreds of people over the course of 17 years complain to me about his black magic activities. I've had spiritual teachers from other spiritual schools come and complain to me about him and his ex-girlfriend Miss Gemini 48 and their severe mental health problems. Her screaming on the floor, wiggling around like a maggot, crying out to let the demons out of her body. I've had these spiritual teachers ban Miss Gemini 48 and her partner from their spiritual schools for life. I've had other people, like the global director of the spiritual school that I was with, ban Miss Gemini 48 and her spiritual partner. They still both turn up. I've had hundreds of complaints from the students of this male spiritual practitioner come and ask me for help and healing and protection from this guy because they can't earn an income, they're unemployed, having health problems, having family problems, relationship problems everywhere since they've joined his spiritual school. I think I say to them all is I give them healing, I give them protection, but I will repeat what I tell them all is forgive this person, cut the links with this person, forgive yourself, send peace, love and light and forgiveness to this person and move on with your life. Have nothing further to do with them. Just remove yourself from their company because unfortunately some people don't change their ways, and until you learn the lesson and put boundaries in place between yourself and the abuser of power, in this case the spiritual teacher. Another public figure that is notable and relevant worth discussing is a Miss Taurus from Brisbane, 26-year-old Taurus, who was working with the aforementioned black magic practitioners to steal energy from myself and from literally 10 million other Australians during December 2021 and January 2022 for her own personal gain to help her. She was a professional athlete and she stole other people's energy to help her win her sporting tournaments. She engaged in this black magic ritual against me multiple times over the course of many years, causing harm to myself in the process. I haven't personally met this person. I was helping lots of professional athletes with their sporting training regimes for many years, and she had asked me for help and I did not have the time to help her, so I said no. The karmic repercussions of her actions were she's been banned from engaging in any professional sporting activities for life by the spiritual hierarchy, not by anybody here on earth, but by the spiritual hierarchy. Her sporting gifts and spiritual gifts have been removed from her for life, and she needs to pay back all of the energy that she stole from people here on earth over the last 5 years. Money is a concretized form of energy, so she needs to pay it back directly to the people she stole it from. And that's the message from the spiritual hierarchy. She's also received 25 lifetimes worth of negative karma that she must pay back over the next 25 lifetimes, and when she passes over, that negative karma will transfer to all of her family members, her spouse and his family members. That is the law of karma in action. In another notable case study of another public figure that resides in Victoria, Australia, he's a 51-year-old Aquarian male who works as a public figure, well-known public figure in Australia. He's an interesting case because he is involved in severe human rights abuses, alleged corruption and criminal activity over the course of his career in the public domain, and there's also been a lot of instances of black magic. He's closely connected with certain elite dinosaurs, and what I have discerned from this gentleman looking at his past history and past lives is he was involved in the Inquisition where the witches were burned at the stake, and he was one of the leading witches that were burnt at the stake back in the day, many hundreds and hundreds of years ago in Europe. And a lot of the people in Victoria, Australia, that have suffered as a consequence of his actions, they were persecuting him in this past life where he was stripped naked, humiliated, he was raped and tortured and burnt at the stake. The lesson for many people in Victoria and Australia and other people that have suffered at his hands around the world is that we need to forgive him. By forgiving him, we'll set ourselves free. We have to understand that in the past life, even though many of us cannot remember it. I can, but many can't remember this past life, is that we misjudged, we erred in our ways, and we should not have treated these people accused of witchcraft in the manner that they were treated many hundreds of years ago. By forgiving him, forgiving yourself for your past mistakes, and setting him free, cutting the links, and sending peace, love, light, healing, that will absolve the karmic cords between yourself and this gentleman, and that will free everyone, because he's basically just there as acting as a public figure to teach everyone a lesson for abusing him many lifetimes ago. I hope these case studies give you a better understanding of how past misdeeds and past actions can come back and haunt you in this life or at this point in your life, and give you clear understanding of how you can move forward and free yourself from the wheels of karma and the karmic bonds that tie here in this life. In life, we follow the golden rule: do unto others as you expect to be done to yourself, and this will mitigate any potential harm coming into your life. So the new spiritual laws that have come into play from the 1st of January 2022, during 2021 and 2022, there were powerful alchemical rituals and prayers performed in Australia to transmute all the black magic that has been actioned over the past 2,000 years and transmuted into the highest vibrational healing light across the planet. So many beings of ancestral and spiritual and angelic helpers in the celestial planes were co-opted to assist in transmuting Earth's historical black magic and turning it into healing white light. So this was a monumental cleanup job of epic proportions. It took around 6 months of intense ceremonial alchemy and tens of thousands of practice attempts to get the techniques right and working. In your prayers and your meditations, please send blessings of gratitude to your ancestors, to the spiritual hierarchy, to the angels, the archangels, and the celestial helpers who are involved in helping humanity shift our collective negative karma into high vibrational healing light. This collective effort of light work and the massive energy healings were created to help shift Earth's collective energies as much as possible into higher frequencies and to aid humanity to escape from the wheels of karma. The outcome is that frees victims of black magic from their suffering to a certain degree that was embedded in their DNA and ancestral bloodlines. However, these actions don't absolve any person or any group of people that have performed black magic at any point in time over the past 2,000 years. These karmic debts remain on their akashic records. They remain stored in their DNA and in the earth and planetary records. These karmic debts still remain outstanding and need to be paid back in 2023 and 2024. So the wheels of karma have sped up during this quickening phase of human evolution, and the karmic debts are now being called out more rapidly. So it's now time to pay up or ship out off the earth plane. These new spiritual laws are a subset of the law of cause and effect, and they affect all black magic practitioners and abusers of power who have stolen money, time, energy, health, gifts, destinies, life force, reputation, goodwill, credibility, prosperity, possessions, intellectual property of any person, any being, any organization. So all these karmic debts need to be paid back in full, plus compensation and interest, in addition to full apologies to the people that they were stolen from. These abuses of power may also include situations where you have corrupt governments, corrupt politicians, corrupt companies, environmental bodies, educational institutions, organisations who abuse the environment, who abuse and harm people, animals and children, and the elderly and disabled. So Spirit is asking all people and entities and organisations that have been involved in these abuses of power and black magic to apologise for their misdeeds, to pay back their karmic debts to the people they stole from, or face jail time. And in certain circumstances, if these requests have not been followed by Spirit, then these individuals will be promptly removed from the earth plane during 2023 and 2024. The message is not for you to decide the fate of a black magic practitioner or an abuser of power, as these matters are being processed in the spiritual courts of law, with your ancestors and teams in Spirit acting as your advocates on your behalf in the higher realms. So what is the process to release these issues relating to abuses of power and abuses of black magic to the spiritual courts of law? The first thing is to surrender the situation to the spiritual hierarchy and whatever spiritual deities or religious deities that you believe in, whether that be God, God the Father, Lord Jesus Christ, Archangel Michael, Mother Mary, Jeshua, Allah, Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha Kuan Yin, Lord Padmasambhava, Lord Buddha Sakyamuni, whichever religious or spiritual deity that you pray to or worship is on board with this new abuse of power legislations in the spiritual realms. First step, forgive the other person and forgive yourself. Visualize the other person in front of you in your mind's eye. Say to them, I forgive you, I forgive myself, I set you free, go in peace. Cut the links between yourself and that person or that entity or that organization 3 times. Cut, cut, cut. Ask Archangel Michael to help you sever those links properly. And then surrender the situation to your team in spirit, to the spiritual hierarchy. Send peace, love and light and forgiveness to those people that committed black magic acts or abuse of power acts against either yourself or your family members or your animals. Send them in peace, love and light, and move on. So just to summarize this discussion, the Lords of Karma are coming to collect karmic debts in 2023. If you have practiced black magic at any time during this lifetime, then now is a time to pay back the money, the energy, the time, the possessions, the intellectual property, the goodwill, the credibility, the reputations, the health that you have stolen from any person, any being, any organization, any entity at any point in time. Now is also time to admit wrongdoing, deaths, thefts, frauds, blackmail, and apologize to the family members of deceased people who you have harmed in this life. Now is the time to return any money or any goods stolen, plus compensating those people that you stole from. Now is the time to practice the golden rule: as you sow, you shall reap. So namaste.